Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to do some exercises and we're going to create a part. And this is not going to be a part that has no meaning. We want to create something that has an actual real life application. I don't know if you watched the entire tutorial, but in the introduction video, I believe that's the first video, I said that we don't want this tutorial to be a very theoretical video. We don't want this tutorial to be disconnected from real world. We want this to be practical. And that's why we're doing the exercises together. And in this video, we're going to create a sample part. I know in the previous videos, we kind of created 3D models. We applied modeling actions. We revolved and we used extrusion. We used those, but just as examples. And we created dummy parts, but we didn't really pay attention to dimensioning them accurately. This time, we're going to create an actual part. And I recently purchased some curtains for my room, and I realized that maybe I can get some curtain hooks or some curtain organizers. I don't know what they're called. I didn't really prepare for this video, to be honest with you, so bear with me. I'm just gonna Google it, look at some images, because I know that you will be doing the same thing. If you come up with an idea, you'll just Google it and look at some images, or maybe look at some example parts, and you'll try to design it at home. So I thought maybe I shouldn't be prepared. I should also do it with you in this video. So let's just go to our browser, I guess. Type curtain hooks. Okay, so this is not what I'm looking for, and it just looks for those curtain holdbacks. Holdbacks, yeah. So I think that's yeah, something like this. Okay, something like this maybe. Um, yeah, I want something like this that can hold the curtain back if I'm keeping it open. Let's design something like this, but this is apparently using adhesives. I want to mount it on the wall. So let's design something like this. I'm gonna minimize this. And we are in the part mode of Autodesk Inventor Professional 2024. And let's create a sketch. So let's look at the image again. We're just going to estimate what the dimensions are. Maybe, and I have a ruler on my desk. Sometimes I just look at it to kind of visualize how long that's going to be. So let's use maybe 50 millimeters, and that's a kind of like a slot, right? We can do it like that, or we can do it our design, but let's do something similar. So let's create a slot maybe and start from the origin point, and then something like this. And I said that maybe I want it to be 50 millimeters long, but I want to put 2 screws, so let's make it 60. So from this to this, I want this to be 60 millimeters. And this width of it, let's say maybe 30 millimeters. Yeah, from here to here. Sorry, I accidentally clicked something else. Uh, Maybe this is 30 millimeters. Now this base is fully defined. Let's extrude that. Uh, and how thick do we want this to be? Again, I'm looking at the ruler on my desk, and maybe like a 5 millimeter should be enough to hold it. Okay, so we have this base part of the curtain hook. Now this second section is coming out of the hook, so let's find a good spot for it. And I'm going to use the view cube to look at this face of this base, and let's create another sketch there. Now we created a sketch on that base. I'm just going to rotate it to show you where I created it. This is where that sketch is. I'm going to click on front on the view cube and go back to that view. So let's project geometry, because we want to take advantage of these arcs and lines and even these reference points, so that we can take advantage of that. And maybe I create a circle on this point. Yeah, so I create a circle here maybe. and we want to use a screw here. Maybe I can just drill through it so it doesn't have to be that accurate, but let's make that maybe 5 millimeters. Yeah, so 5 millimeters should be enough for a screw to go through and also hold the basin. I mean, worst case scenario, I can use a washer, but oh, hang on, we were not doing the screw hole, so this is actually the second section. Sorry about that. Let's make that 10 millimeters so it's a little bit more beefy. Okay, so let's extrude that. Let's finish this 2D sketch. Now extrude that. As we mentioned in the previous videos, now it is recognizing that there are two sections that can be extruded, so we want this to extrude. So how far do we want this to go? Uh, we're just gonna experiment a little bit, and I'm just gonna 3D print this and give you some feedback maybe on the next video. So I will maybe make this 20 millimeters. Well, that's not enough. Let's go with maybe 30, maybe 40. Yeah, so I'm looking at the ruler on my desk, and that seems to be enough. Maybe go with 50 millimeters. Okay, so we have that 50 millimeter section. And now we need to create this third section. And for that, we need to create maybe another, we need to take advantage of this design now. So we are going to create another sketch, but this time I cannot really create a sketch on these surfaces because these are not flat surfaces. So I'm going to take advantage of the origin planes. See, I have an origin plane here, and then I have an origin plane there. I have an origin plane here. So this one is the origin plane I'm going to use. So we are going to, I would have done this in a much different way, of course, but I'm trying to use the features that we covered in the tutorial. So that's why I am intentionally not doing it the other way, because usually this would take only a few seconds. But I'm trying to use the stuff that we covered so far, and we didn't really go into planes that much. So I'm only using the origin planes. So we have this section, and let's look at that. Let's click on right and see that section. And let's project this geometry. And now, we have the end point and beginning point of this section here. So maybe we create a circle starting at this point and go to this point. Let's go to this point. Okay. And then we want this to be also tangent to that. So that way it is not exceeding it. So we created that, but right now it is not fully defined. So let's see what is not defined. Okay, so the diameter is not fully defined. So we are maybe going to also project that side. Now let's make this to tangent to that bottom line. Now it is fully defined because now it has got limitations, right? Diameter cannot change. It cannot get any larger than this circle. So now let's project that, finish the sketch and extrude that. Let's now use the double side symmetric extrusion. And we are actually, I like this kind of exceeding in the back. I think they have that similar design, right? So let's maybe exceed that by 60 millimeters. And is that enough, or should we go even further? I think that's enough, yes. So let's do that. And I see that also this third section is longer. Now I will create another sketch on this surface and project that geometry, and then finish the sketch and extrude that one more time. Well, that's a bit too long. Now let's go down to 40 millimeters maybe. Okay, that seems to be the way to go. The only difference now is we are, technically, they don't have this section, which we can get rid of by actually, like, we can actually do another sketch here. and we can project the geometry here, project the geometry here, project the geometry here. That just failed to project that, but project the geometry there. What didn't project that either? Well, let's look at this here. Project that line, project that line. Instead of just, this is not a flat surface, that's why it didn't project it. So I can just project the lines and then finish that sketch. And then just like adding a material, now I can use this to cut the material, cut all the way through and cut that. Now that part is gone. Again, there are a million ways to do it. There are very efficient ways to do this, but right now, again, I'm just only using the functionalities that we covered in this tutorial. That's why it's taken long, and also I'm trying to explain everything, so I hope you don't mind. So we created this part. It looks pretty similar. It's got this other section in the front side, so let's do that. Let's create another sketch on this surface and project that geometry. And this time, let's create a circle that's a little bit larger than that. So maybe like this. But so now it's sharing the same origin point. So it all needs, the only thing it needs is probably the diameter. So let's call that like 13 millimeters. And then let's right click and click on extrude, and let's kind of switch the direction of it, and we maybe 5 millimeters. Yeah, 5 millimeters should be enough, or maybe just 3 millimeters. Okay, yeah. So we just added some material backwards this time to have that step on the top side. I know we did not cover any of the other details, but just to make it a bit more aesthetically pleasing, let's add some fillets. We're going to talk about fillets in the future, but let's add some fillet here, maybe fillet here, fillet here. So that's going to be pretty good. And let's maybe add a fillet here, and then yeah, let's just finish that one here. Okay, yeah, so we are adding some extra material here because this is a stress point, right? It can break from here. So that's why we added a fillet there. And yeah, that's about it. But now the only thing we have not done is the mount holes, and we want to add some mount holes. And when I'm assuming that I'm going to drill it like this, so I don't want this section to be in the way, so I want to be able to drill it with the power tool. So I need to probably add two holes, uh, s- kind of on the top and the bottom of this base. So let's create a sketch there, project this geometry, and we don't have to, but let's use some uh, construction geometries because we covered that in the previous videos. But let's draw some circles without really worrying about it. So let's draw one circle here. Let's draw a second circle here, yeah, on that surface. And let's make sure that these are equal. I'm holding down the control key on my keyboard, and I will click on the equal constraint. That way they are equal. And I'm going to dimension one of them with, say, 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters. And now the other one updates automatically. Now we just need to make sure that they are precisely located. So let's use this top section as our reference point. I want to actually double check the dimension here. So this one is 15 millimeters. It's going to say this is going to over constrain. It's not because it thinks that we are trying to place the dimension there. We're not trying to place a dimension there. We're just trying to check what the distance is from the origin point to the top section. And so I'm just going to say accept this because it's just going to use it as a driven dimension. So it's not going to change anything. So that's why it's because it's a driven dimension. We're going to talk about that in the future. It's in parentheses. So it is not really dimensioning it, but it's just showing me the dimension. So I can use that as a reference. So it is 15 millimeters. So this should be about 7.5 millimeters away from the top edge. So 7.5 millimeters. Okay. And now this one should also be 7.5 millimeters. Instead of typing 7.5, I'm just gonna click on this and use that parameter so that if I change this, this will automatically change too. And also I want this to be uh, like maybe 10 millimeters. Yeah, and then I want this to be about 10 millimeter away from the, oops, I accidentally clicked something else. I right clicked and canceled. Go back to general dimension command and click on this and click on 10 millimeters. So that's 10 millimeters away from the origin point as well, horizontally, of course. So now, now I created these two holes. I can maybe, well, I'm looking at it from this front side. Yeah, I should be able to have access to that. But just in case, let's change this 7.5 to maybe 6 millimeters. That way I have more access to these holes when I try to drill it. Okay, so let's, these are fully defined now. Let's finish that 2D sketch and extrude these holes and through hole. Okay, now I have two mount holes. Okay, because I don't want to actually use a, I don't want to use a adhesive for this because I'm going to mount this on the wall. Yeah, so this is this looks like it will do its job. So let's finish this design. But of course, for the 3D printing, I need to convert this to STL file. And I know that some people will be looking for that video specifically. Maybe they are creating a different part and they just want to watch how to create an STL file. It's pretty easy, but in the next video, we'll cover that.